I'm gonna record for a second, so I can use this later.
Like how far you want me to go back?
The wages, and then yeah, just all that real quick.
Okay. So basically we have like at Aerojet Rocketdyne facility in West Palm Beach, our labor grades are basically 6, 4, 2, 1. You can go right online, you can pull our contracts up and you can look at it. And so like a entry level employee coming into our company is making right now 32.62 an hour. That's what they're making right this second at a standard rate. The great part about our contract is no matter what, the managers cannot hold you underwater. You are guaranteed a standard 20-cent raise every 8 weeks until you meet maximum wage. And so like let's just use a grade 6 employee starting in at 32.62 an hour would receive a 20-cent raise all the way till they got up to 35.40 an hour. But then you also still would get your standardized raises like every year. And so like this year, we on January 6th, every union employee received a 4% raise. I do believe next year we're going into a contract negotiation year. And so we're going to get a 3.5% raise. But then we're also when we ratify the new contract, more than likely we'll come out with another raise come mid-year as well. So there is a high potential that every employer at our facility would receive 2 raises in 1 year, as well as getting the 20-cent raise every 8 weeks. Now, like when you start moving up in the labor grades, so like once you've been there for a little while, which it doesn't take long to go from a 6 to a 4, a grade 4 right now at my company is making $39.45 an hour with a maximum wage of this year for 2024, like a topped out grade 4 right now, my company would make $42.36 an hour. Now, a grade 2 would be considered the highest position that you can get without being like a lead role. And that position right now, which is absolutely amazing that it is this way. But right now, like a senior level mechanic in my company, or we have fabricators in my company, even transportation, it doesn't matter. If you're a grade 2, you're going to make at standard base pay, you're making $47.19 an hour with a maximum right now, which I have lots of guys I work side by side with. That's been with my company. I would say anywhere between 3 to 5 years of working here are making over $50 an hour without lead pay. And so with me being like a labor grade 1, which I am a lead, I like my base pay would be $51.48 an hour, but I'm actually topped out. And my company, when they promoted me to a lead, which was 2 years ago, they promoted me to a lead at max rate. They didn't even bat an eye. They automatically gave me the max rate. And like, so today, right now, I make 54.53 an hour. That's what I make. And I have.
So Seth says for recording purposes, you keep saying my company. What company is that?
Yes, that is Aerojet Rocketdyne and West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And so I think like we were just purchased by L3, and like everybody knows that L3 is like wanting to lay the smack down, but like we are protected by our collective bargaining agreement. So, but yes, it like Aerojet Rocketdyne and West Palm Beach is a good company to work for. It really is. And it's like we have like even the non-union employees that I have been referring to, like we will come next contract negotiation, we're going to submit their cards and we are going to get them unionized at the same time when we ratify a new contract. So all that is definitely in the works.
Are you referring to
Not to engineering. We have hourly, which would be like technicians. They're like EDR techs. They are legitimately hourly personnel. And when I say when there could be like any given Sunday, I show up to work and I'm making over $100 an hour. These employees could be making in the 30s. And so you have me standing next to them making over 100, and then you have another hourly employee standing right next to me that's making $30 an hour.
Yeah, we're actively trying to get the techs. That's strange that they're not with y'all.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. And the reason why they're not is because when we did all this, like they tried to unionize at one point in time, but what so the techs and my site, like they were told by the company, like, oh, if you guys unionize, we're gonna hold it up. You're not gonna get any raises, you're not gonna get nothing, we're gonna lock it out. And so what they ended up doing is exactly that anyway. So they didn't unionize. They didn't join our union, and that's exactly what the company did. They didn't give them any raises, and they basically locked them out. And so where our pay has progressively gone up, because I mean, you guys heard it firsthand. When I started the company, I was making almost $30 an hour. I've almost doubled my wage in 8 years, which is absolutely unheard of. And like the EDR techs, they see that. They're like, they're like, man, everything the company told us that would happen if we unionized, they still did it, and you guys just catapulted to a completely different level. And it's not, and the great part about it is it's not going to stop. Like our pay is only going to continue to increase. It's not going to get less. It can only get better.
Yeah. That refers to the bargaining in good faith under the National Labor Relations Act. I mean, if they propose a cut somewhere, they have to offer something elsewhere. I mean, you can't they can't come in and just if they cry poor, they got to show us the books, and they'll never do it. You can't come in there and reverse bargaining. That's an unfair labor practice. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are very fortunate that you have a contract now that this acquisition happened, because these folks are just squeezing people for nickels. And then not only that, just the MSA bonuses. If you take that alone, if there was a fella in here, I think it was the last meeting or the meeting before, who said he had $10,000 in 2023 and just in MSA bonuses. Those are gone. You take that away from 600 employees or more. I don't know who was all eligible, if the engineers were getting them or what, but you take that away from a community of 10,000 people. I mean, that's just, that was money that was going to stimulate small businesses, stimulate this community, and it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's definitely shitty, and I can tell you, we also had that cut on our end.
They did.
Our management did, like, they gave it to us too, and so like on top of my wage, I made over $6,000 in bonus last year. But I am a committee man in the union, and I took the leap, and I sit there and push and rally all the time for better practice.
Okay, so those were not in those were not in the contract, those MSA bonuses.
They were not, like the boost and the mission awards and all that other kind of stuff. That was done extra, where Aerojet did that directly, and
Yeah.
L3 just was like, they're like, no, and so they chopped that completely out. I want to say that, like, I know that there is another grade 1 lead in my department last year made over $200,000, and I pushed almost 175,000 is what I made. That's with bonus, with everything. I pushed $175,000.
Jesus.
So it's possible, and that's the thing. Is like, who would have ever thought that, like, some poor kid like me would have been able to grow up and like go from being an industrial millwright to somehow working his way into a rocket company, to then becoming a lead, and to make well over $100,000 a year. I mean,
Yeah.
like we hire engineers at like $60,000, $75,000, $80,000, and here I am making money.
Oh yeah.